In today's GTA Online video, I will be showing you the best way to make money through the Darnell Bros Garment Factory. This of course is the new business that has just been released with this new GTA Online update. I will be giving my honest opinion about the Garment Factory itself, giving you guys a pretty good breakdown of it, and then of course showing you how you can make some really good cash using the factory. So without wasting any more time, let's dive into this video. So of course the first thing that we have to do is purchase the factory. So if you head over to the Bank Foreclosures website, you should see the factory here. With no discounts to the factory, it will cost you 2.3, nearly $2.4 million. And you will also notice there is no upgrades or modifications that you can purchase. And there is a really good reason for this, and it is because everything is already included. So for example, we already have the Mark II weapon workshop inside this factory, a sleeping quarters so that we can set your spawn location, a 10-car garage, even the subterranean traveling system, and then of course we also have the actual business. So this $2.3 million really does go far, and compared to other businesses, I would actually say this is probably one of the most worth it, just out of everything you already get with this business. And I don't know about you guys, but I really like the basement garage. I just like how it looks for some reason. I will be most likely storing all of my HSW vehicles in here. But now guys, to actually get around to the money making part, you will notice pretty fast after purchasing the Darnell Bros Garment Factory that you will have a new app on your phone. Essentially this is just the business app where we can start these different FIB files. You can also start them straight from the Garment Factory. However, using the app is honestly really efficient. I was really surprised at this. You can just be riding around in a session, and then whenever you feel like it, you can just start up one of these files. I think it is really good. Such a nice feature. So to actually get started with the first file, I of course did the main weekly one, which I believe will be the same for everyone else as well. This is called the brute force file. Now to break down what I currently know about these files, essentially the priority file is a weekly file, and it will pay out pretty much double money compared to all of the other ones. And then of course with the new event or something, it will refresh. And then the other standard files, which are still paying out some really good cash, these ones will pretty much refresh every hour or so. From what I have played and seen myself, every time I complete one other contract, which was the standard ones, one of the other standard contracts that I already have played before sort of refreshes and I can play it again. So I am really happy to see that Rockstar are letting us replay these things. I honestly thought at first all of them would have been a weekly thing, very similar to the Salvage Yard, and if that was the case, I would probably not even bother with this business. So this brute force file, it was honestly really straightforward. It sort of reminds me of a mix between the Salvage Yard robberies and the auto shop contracts. That is probably the best way that I can describe these things, and honestly after playing through all of them, I really did enjoy them. In this brute force file, this had a lot to do with Fort Zancudo. We had to break in there after doing the setups and steal the Scarab, and then with the Scarab we then had to deliver this to the buyer. So this was a relatively easy and straightforward priority file, I would say, and where you guys can really make your money is in the challenge bonuses. Of course for this priority file we will be getting roughly $300,000 anyway, but we can actually make a little bit more cash on top of this, and this will come in really useful for the other files that we have to do. So for the brute force file, we can see that we have 3 different challenges here. The first one is to reach the base in 5 minutes. The second one is to enter area A undetected. And then the third one is to destroy 5 vehicles with the Scarab. I'm pretty sure that you guys will have no way of knowing what these challenges are unless you have already completed this. But trust me guys, this is worth it. I believe if you complete all 3 of these challenges, you get another $50,000, which is obviously really useful for the other standard ones because they do not pay out as much. So of course, every time I play the brute force file now, I will be going for these challenges. Even if this turns into a standard file, this will be 100% worth doing. Obviously, I made $326,000 from that, and the bonus challenges are not too hard to do, honestly. They are really doable, I would say, and you can also do it quite fast. This is probably the part where it reminds me of the Salvage Yard robberies. If you guys have done them before, you will already know that they also have this sort of challenge bonus, so it is definitely worth going for. Moving on to the second file that I decided to complete, we have the black box file. Now you'll see once I am accepting this file, it will cost me a setup fee of $20,000, so we have to keep that in mind every time we do these things. I'm not sure if the priority file will cost a setup fee or not. I think it might be $20,000 as well. So if we already keep in mind that we have spent $20,000, instead of making that payout of just $155,000, already straight off the bat we are down to $130,000 roughly. So this is why it might be worth it trying to complete at least 1 or 2 of these challenges every every time we play these things. The black box file was a pretty good file altogether. In this file, you guys will be crashing a cargo plane, swimming underwater and collecting the valuable loot it drops. I thought the coolest part of this whole file was escaping. You will see that we have a sort of NPC guy driving us away in a dinghy. He also takes this massive route, which I believe we have done in story mode before. Honestly, this is really cool. And then after that was done, we delivered the loot and the file was completed. Just like before, we also had some bonus challenges here, so make sure that you guys do these things. I hope they do not change every single time, but by the looks of things, I doubt they will. So we had destroy all 4 plane engines. This is a really easy one to do. You guys should have no trouble doing that one. The next one was to recover all plane contents. This one was also relatively easy. All that you had to do is just swim around for a little bit longer. And then the final one that I did not actually do was to kill 5 enemies during the escape. I must have been so close to completing that one. I'm sure that you guys will have no problem doing that either. But you can see there that our final payment was $175,000 instead of the $155,000. So it does make a big difference. That bonus reward will pay for the whole file itself. And then if I completed that final challenge, we would have made even more profit on top of this. Now, in fact, I did complete a file with all of these challenges complete. So I will show you guys this one. The file that I completed all of the challenges for without even knowing was the fine art file. In my opinion, I would actually say that this is the best file. I really enjoyed this one. It was sort of like a mini heist in my opinion. In this file, you have to steal the bronze idol. Before I show you guys the gameplay of me stealing the bronze idol, I will give you guys some tips. So of course, I will show you the challenges first. We had to enter the penthouse undetected. This is relatively easy to do. I would use a silenced weapon. For example, I just used the AP pistol. We then had to flick the switch in 60 seconds. And I believe this switch is under this table to open the secret door. Honestly, not too hard to do, especially if it does not change. And then the final thing was to take all the cabinet contents, which is where you guys should find the bronze idol. That last challenge there is honestly quite hard because in this cabinet there is some gas. So after you complete this fingerprint cloner, you have to grab some loot really fast. You'll see that I went for the bronze idol first. I then went to the loot next to me on the right. And by the time I collected this loot, the hazardous chemicals, which is sort of like the security measure, very similar to the casino heist in the vault, started killing my character. So the best way that I did this was to run out of the cabinet, eat some snacks to replenish my health. I then went back in and collected the final loot. You will see just how fast you guys have to be because I almost died doing this. I'm not sure exactly what would happen if I did die. I believe it will not matter because the challenges do not have anything about dying or anything like that. We also do not have any total lives or anything. So it is possible you could die and just go in here again. You also have to be very careful about the enemies coming around the corner. Luckily, this did not happen to me. But after this was done, I then went ahead and completed the file, and you will see that we actually got a bonus of $50,000 this time around. You would probably think it would be a $30,000 bonus because each one of them will get you $10,000, but I guess there is a bonus when you complete all 3 of them. So instead of making the $153,000, we made $203,000 minus that $20,000 setup fee. So in total from this one file, we made $183,000, which is really good. If you guys do this on every file and do the challenges, it will be so easy. The final file that I did was the Project Breakaway file. Once again, this was a really good one. I would probably rank this as the second best file in my opinion. In this one, we get to use the RC Bandito in the setups, and you will see the challenges for this one are relatively easy as well. So we had to locate Project Breakaway in 5 minutes. We also had to get 15 headshots, which is really easy. And then we had to recover the black books and the server blades. This is the only challenge that I did not complete. I did manage to collect the black books. You'll see in the looting area, the black books are in this sort of room. The only thing that I could not find was the server blades. I believe that they were next to the hard drives though. I would recommend just looking around in this area a little bit longer until you find them, because of course making that extra $50,000 is kind of huge. So at this point in the video, I will just show you all of the separate challenges all together. Maybe you guys can take a screenshot or something to remember them, and with some luck these things will never change and they are always the same challenge. This is my first time playing through all of them together, so you guys will have to let me know in the comments below if they do change. If they do, it is such a shame, but if not, you guys should be able to make this extra bonus cash every single time you play them. So yeah guys, in total, what do you think about these FIB files and the Garment Factory itself? I really do like this. I think that I will be using the Garment Factory's FIB files alongside some businesses, for example maybe the Acid Lab, probably paired with the nightclub club, and maybe even the auto shop contract, maybe the KO heist as well. If you guys do these things together, you will be able to make millions of dollars pretty easily. I would probably not recommend getting the garment factory straight away if you have no other businesses. I would at least recommend having something else. Even if you guys just have the Kasatka with the KO Breaker heist to run alongside this, I think it will be really good. But yeah guys, that will do it for this video, just breaking down the different challenges and showing you guys how you can make the most money from the garment factory files. Hopefully this will help you out in some way, shape or form. If it does, make sure to leave a like. I always appreciate your support, and if you guys are new here and like what you see, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.